Hello, everybody, and welcome to Atheist Sunday School, your one-stop shop for everything Atheist Sunday and school. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today we are joined by Landon Noll.
Joined by Landon Noll.
Yes, the amazing Landon Noll. He is back with his big-ass brain, and he is here to add some commentary to the songs.
As opposed to the spectacular Landon Noll, or, Landon Noll 2099. And we have the amazing Landon.
Yes.
Yeah, they're different canons.
Different canons.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on your time zone and latitude, from your friendly secular astronomer. And those that probably are watching, you just got a 30-second ad. Thank you very much for watching that ad because it helps the site.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does.
Yeah.
And did you know that clicking on the ad takes away the ad money from advertisers?
Wait, what?
Because the thing is, they put money into this pool, right? And they keep advertising until there are enough clicks on their ads. So if you actually click the ad, it takes away a percentage that's given from the advertiser money.
Are you telling
me you're taking the ad away from other people and doing a public service? But does it help the? It
does not help us.
No.
Does it help anyone?
Well, it helps the advertisers because presumably when you click the ad, you get a pop-up, and the pop-up sends you to a place that has ads on it.
Yeah.
So they get revenue.
Yeah, they still get revenue.
Yeah.
But does it help the channel by watching the ad all the way through, or
I don't think it really matters as long as there are ad impressions.
Yeah. So anyway, so good morning, afternoon, good evening, and I see that we have 7.
Yes.
Someone's kindly feeding me a stream on the side here, which is why I'm looking over here for.
Oh, excellent.
That's very nice of them. So how about we get started with the 100-point show?
Yeah, let's do it to it.
Yeah. So my 100-point show question is: in WWE, which 2 people are tied for the most world championships at 16 each?
He's going to guess Kofi Kingston. It's going to happen.
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, man.
And The Big Show.
No, I'm sorry. Do you have an answer, Landon?
I would have guessed Hulk as one of the people. That's because I are the only one I can name.
Yeah, Kofi Kingston and Kofi Kingston.
No, I wish.
Yeah.
No, the answer is Ric Flair.
Oh, wow.
And John Cena.
I could have told you that.
Wow.
I couldn't have actually.
Yeah, you could have guessed John Cena. Anyways, Ruben, what is your 100-point show question?
Okay. Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic Advance, either 2 or 3. Introduces Cream the Rabbit.
Horrible.
Cream the Rabbit
Horrible character.
has a pet chow. What is the name?
What is a chow?
It's like a virtual pet thing.
Okay.
I don't know. It's
like Neopet? Like a Neopet?
I mean, it's a living thing in the can.
Like a chia
has
pet.
like a turnip head.
Okay.
You've seen them.
It looks like a turnip head.
Yeah.
I don't know, Jerry.
No.
Damn.
Shroom.
No.
QQ.
No.
I don't know. They're always dumb and adorable.
It's cheese.
Cheese.
They're cream and cheese.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
I told you they were bad characters.
It's a good pun.
Anyway, off to Landon for the 100-point show question.
Well, and then by the way, the people in the chat room can play along with it because we got points to the chat room as well for correct answers.
Sure.
So my
Damn right we do, because we care about the people.
question, which often is related to 100. Today is regarding the number 100 and how it's represented. We know that in Roman numerals, and this is not the question, but we know that the Roman numeral for 100 is symbolized by what symbol that looks sort of
C.
Alphabetical. C. That's correct. So for 100 points, what is the Greek symbol for 100?
The Greek symbol for 100.
Yeah, what alphabetic character looks most like the Greek symbol for 100?
Come on, guys.
Is it a delta?
Is it I don't know. Is it chi? I don't know.
Those aren't things. Is it the
C?
letter?
That's a letter. Chi
Chi?
is a Greek letter. Yeah.
Oh, chi is. Oh, okay. I'm gonna guess a Y.
What? Yeah, those
So,
aren't even Greek letters.
bet there's a Y.
Robert Kirby is correct.
It's
The
a-
modern,
It's a row.
yeah,
Okay.
the modern symbol for 100 looks like the ancient one is just a row or a person who's familiar with the alphabetic characters might say it's a P, but it's kind of a P with an accent is kind of the common modern version of that.
Gotcha. Okay. Neat.
I got a question.
Well, you get the
Whoa.
100-point show. You get the 100 points.
You have a question?
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay.
What is the age of the oldest cat when it died?
38.
Okay, you win.
Thanks.
Good job. I don't know.
Amazing.
Most people wouldn't guess that immediately.
This is fun.
I don't think
It's funny because last week or just a couple days ago, I was looking up like some of the oldest pets and oldest animals.
Oh, well, you did it.
Yeah, I did it.
All right, bonus question. What year was it born?
I don't fucking remember.
Yeah.
19-3.
All right, no.
It's more recent than Diggity 3.
You
Because
don't
Diggity
know, you don't know where Diggity went.
1973.
11D3? Oh, jeez. Well, sure, you're all right.
Yay.
Good job. Woo. It was 67,
By
and
the
those
way-
answers are somehow 1967. Congratulations.
Yep.
Diggity
By the
3
way-
translates to 67.
Yeah, sure.
It's a different numeral
Robert
system.
Kirby asks, what is the oldest surviving Roman novel?
Is it Roman novel?
I've never read it.
Is it? Well, hold on. Would we call
The Bible?
No.
Surviving-
Would we call Virgil's what was the name
The
of
Aeneid?
No. Was it the Aeneid? Was it?
I think.
I mean, there's the Iliad, obviously.
No, that's something else.
That's Greek.
What was
His question was only surviving, but I believe there might be more than one thing that's questionable what you consider a novel. So if you say oldest or only,
Whoop.
I'm not sure.
Roman novel.
Either way.
Not sure.
Meow.
I'm assuming they'll tell us. Anyways, how about we get started with some readings? What translation do you
I
have?
have the best version of the Bible, the King James version of the Bible.
Oh, the King James. Ugh. I have the English Standard Version of the Bible.
We also have Landon Noll, who has...
I have the New American.
Oh, the
Standard Bible.
golden ass. Okay, that's right. Okay.
We also have the Hebrew Bible, a translation with commentary by Robert Alter.
Yes, and we have the Holy Scriptures according to some Jews, along with the New King James Version.
And we also have the Oxford Companion of the Bible.
Sometimes we have that.
It's been there.
It's been there for a while now. We also have the New Interpreter's Bible.
Old Testament
yes,
Survey.
Old Testament
yeah,
Survey.
That's been so useful.
I mean, it's been more useful than the Oxford Companion to the Bible.
It's kept the table down on the floor.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know if anybody
Thanks,
knew.
Gravity.
Yeah.
That's a different
We
table.
also have
we switched tables.
Sarna on the Book of Psalms.
Yeah.
Are we using that today?
No, we're not using that one today.
Okay.
We also have Mark S. Smith's The Origins of Biblical Monotheism, which we will be using today,
And Witherington Psalms Old and New.
which we will not be using today.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a good read.
It's much better than Sarna's.
Yeah, definitely. Sarna's I don't like Sarna. Either way. So we are doing Psalm 73 to 77 today.
Yep.
And I don't really have any announcements, honestly.
Well, we're entering into the third book of Psalms.
Yes, we
Why
are.
don't you tell us what makes the third book of Psalms distinct from the second book of Psalms?
Well,
Or maybe even provide details about the cataloging of the Psalms.
Yeah. So why,
Sure.
Why are they in multiple books?
Sure, I can
But most Bibles have it just one big lump.
I can provide some knowledge on the uniqueness of these psalms. So the third and fourth books of the Psalter are quite brief compared to the others, containing 17 and 18 psalms respectively. There is exactly one Psalm of David in book 3, namely Psalm 86. what this probably meant in practical terms is that those who were prone to read Davidic and royal psalms messianically found less material of use in Book 3 of the Psalter. Sure enough, when we look at the lists of quotes, allusions, and echoes, what we discover is that only 3 or 4 songs in this collection, a collection mainly connected with Asaph, are used heavily in the New Testament. And we will look at each of these in detail. And then, each excursus is on that.
All right. Well, who's Asaph?
I remember the name coming up. He's been, in a whole bunch, not a whole bunch. He's been already in a couple, maybe Psalms, I think. But I remember reading about someone called Asaph. I have forgotten completely. Maybe.
Well, let me see here. Robert Alter, he says about an Asaph psalm. This psalm is one out of 11 among the 17 that make up the third book of Psalms that is ascribed to the Levite, Asaph. One may infer that Asaph's psalms were the core of this particular collection and the others were added. But so we know that Asaph is a Levite. Give me the Oxford Companion of the Bible.
I gotta look up. Oh shit! Is it gonna be useful today?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, but I guess. Jim is saying that Asaph was in David's choir. I mean,
Asaph was in David's.
Yeah, let's see if there's
choir.
some more stuff about him, because there were a lot of people listed when we were talking about David's choir.
Yeah.
Like every single person was listed. That was ridiculous. That was a very difficult and annoying read. But either way, I'm gonna
list of names.
I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this little section from Erdman's. So
there's nothing on Asaph.
Great. So on Asaph, as part of the superscript, this title indicates that Psalm 73 to 83 made up a smaller collection within the greater unit, despite numerous attempts to determine the nature of the link between the Asaph psalms. This remains an unresolved question. There have been attempts to link the Psalms to the same cultic or historical situation. Some scholars have referred to a common theme, for example, the covenant, or to word repetitions, which occur frequently in this group of Psalms.
All right.
Great. Well, I guess let's get started with Psalm 73.
Yep. Psalm 73 is Psalm of Asaph. Truly, God is good to Israel, even to such as are of a clean heart.
I'm not sure God has been very good to Israel so far. I mean, given the stuff that God has done, where God gets ticked off and they make them wander around and kill people and all that sort of stuff, I'm not sure that that's what I call good.
Oh yeah, no, God, I don't think, and considering all the amounts of times that he has just forgotten about them, or I mean, not because the whole thing, when they're told to please remember us, it's not really the same. I think a better way to translate that would be recall instead of remember, because remember implies that he forgot, but recall means like, hey, you did this thing. Can you do it for us? So it's not that he forgot about his people. He just kind of stopped.
He was a negligent parent.
Yeah, negligent, I guess. So there's actually, so in the chat there, yes, I was actually just going to address the alternate translation. So in Alter's version, he does say only God is good. Only good to Israel is God. So on Israel and the upright. So here's what Alter says, and I'm going to read a part from Erdman's. An emendation proposed by several scholars reading Layashar El instead of the Masoretic Le Israel yields the following for the whole line. But good is El to the upright, God to the pure of heart. Although the received text is perfectly intelligible as it stands, the emendation has 2 points to recommend it. The unbalanced line, 4 beats, then 2, becomes balanced, 3 beats in each verset. In each verset. And the mention of Israel, which appears to violate the individual perspective of the poem, is eliminated. So that's Alter's note, and then here's from Erdman's. He actually jumps into this, right away. Although cogent arguments can be advanced for translating the end of the first part of 73:1 as to the upright, for example, this would fit in better with the context. There is no convincing textual evidence for such a translation, and the translation Israel is to be preferred. I don't know. I mean, Alter had some arguments there, but he also argues for Israel.
Well, I mean, that is in contrast with the kind of theology that we've seen before. We've seen tons of examples in just these Psalms that we've gone over in the first two books, where it's like God is not good to good people. Like,
Yeah, that's kind of the whole thing, right?
the righteous people suffer all the time.
Yeah, that's why
right?
Job exists.
I might can't
We just
forget
did
about
the
that,
Job thing, so-
right?
Exactly.
We
yeah.
can't forget about Chris 2's or Chris 1's favorite area of the Bible.
Yeah, we can't forget about Chris 1 here.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, let's continue. Those are the notes on that.
But as for me, my feet were almost gone. My steps had well nigh slipped. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. So here, obviously, the wicked are prosperous.
Yeah.
Still.
Exactly.
But apparently God's good to upright people.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of, problem of evil type of stuff.
Yeah. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish.
Yeah, so obviously that's, an idiom for wealth and prosperity.
Yeah. More than heart could wish.
Yeah. So there's nothing. Actually, hold on. There is something about more than heart could wish. So Alter's translation is fat bulges round their eyes, imaginings spill from their heart. So on that, he says the Hebrew is obscure, but the noun maskiot elsewhere means graven images. So the sense might be that in their arrogance, they spin out all sorts of presumptuous schemes or images of their own superiority.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think mine says that the imaginations of their heart run riot.
All right. Well, this part is very straightforward. They are corrupt
Yes, they are.
and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth. Therefore, his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. What is that a reference to?
And the waters of abundance are drunk by them, is what mine says.
Oh,
Jim
That would
says-
make sense,
Jim
yeah.
says it's a cross reference, maybe.
Oh, there's a reference. Well,
yes. Well,
doesn't really
they
matter.
present
Thanks,
it
Jim.
like it's some kind of like conclusion to an argument. Like therefore, his people return hither.
Well, I mean, we're going to see the way the rest of this is laid out, that it's meant to, the first half of this is supposed to parallel the second half.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
And they say, how doth God know? And is there knowledge in the Most High?
Those silly people.
Behold!
Behold!
Behold.
Behold.
These,
Behold from the chat.
yeah, chat, behold.
Behold. Are you not beholding enough?
Yeah.
I could just leave it at 1 if you don't have any more after that.
These are the
Thank
ungodly
you, Robert.
who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain and washed my hands in innocency. For all the day long I have been plagued and chastened every morning.
So chastened. What is it talking about being chastened in the morning?
And my chastisement each new morning. So,
Chastened. So what is it like? Somebody's beating with whips and chains and
or he's, humiliated in a sense, I guess.
Chastised.
Yeah, chastised.
All right. If I say I will speak thus, behold.
Behold!
behold.
Man, we got some good beholds today so far.
That's just like two. Now I have to do something.
I should offend against the generation of thy children. When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me. Until I went to the sanctuary of God, then understood I their end. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places.
So I'm guessing here is where he gets, some sort of revelation from God in the temple.
I guess.
Yeah.
Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou castedst them down into destruction.
So slippery slope. I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
You guys ever play Snakes and Ladders? This is the snake.
No, never.
No, never. How are they brought into desolation as in a moment? They are utterly consumed with terrors. As a dream when one awaketh. So, O Lord, when thou awakest, thou shalt despise their image. Do you despise the images of all your dreams when you wake up?
I must. I don't remember any of them.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes it happens.
Otherwise, when I do remember them, they're fine. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I don't.
When
I don't
I
have
remember
anything.
my dreams, they're all great.
Or, yeah,
All of them.
all of them. Yep.
Yeah.
It's like Candyland consistently.
Unfortunately, this isn't the kind of God where if he wakes up, then the universe blips out of existence.
It's not the dumb idiot Godhead dreaming us into existence. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oof.
That'd be
Thus,
cooler.
yeah, we're just going to start reading H.P. Lovecraft instead of the Bible.
Just switch it out. Yep.
Yog Sothothery. Right. Thus, my heart was grieved, and I was pricked in my reins. So foolish was I, and ignorant, I was as a beast before thee. Nevertheless, I am continually with thee. Thou hast holden me by my right hand. Thou shalt guide me with thy counsel, and afterward receive me to glory.
So after talking about how horrible his life has been and how great the lives of the wicked and the wealthy were, he's like, but you know what? I'm doubling down. I'm sticking with you, and then I'll get to heaven.
Yeah, and it's sort of afterwards. Do you think this is this is sort of a promise that it might be bad now, but wait another life and maybe else will happen.
Yeah, very, very much the problem of evil.
Yeah, next time you'll be a squirrel. This is good reincarnation.
Yeah. Okay.
I hear they have
25.
easy.
Whom have I in heaven but thee? And there is none upon earth that I desire besides thee. My flesh and my heart faileth, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. For, lo, they that are far from thee shall perish. Thou hast...
Mine had the behold word there, but...
Oh. Well, behold.
Behold!
Why not? Behold.
Behold. Mine says, for behold. Yes, these are far from thee will perish.
They that are far from thee shall perish. Thou hast destroyed all them that go a whoring from thee. But it is good for me to draw near to God. I have put my trust in the Lord God, that I may declare all thy works. And that's the end of Psalm 73, the first psalm of the third book of Psalms.
Yeah. I'm sort of mixed on these reviews of this particular one, because it seems, again, you're right, that the end of the wicked, constrained with basically it's talking about the wicked contrasting with the righteous is what they're doing in this poem, and it seems like they say, yeah, but next life everything will be okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys are enjoying the stream, drop a like if you haven't, and share the stream around. We want more people in here. We'd love to see a number over 30 live viewers. That'd be great. Friends,
family, neighbors, countrymen, etc.
And get those likes up, because there's at least 14 people watching. So we should try that thumbs up thing, if you could please.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, go to 5chan. I'm sure that's a thing now. And
Please
tell
don't
all
go
the
to
people
5chan.
there.
Oh, you could go to 7chan.
Oh, sure. Why not?
All right, and for this section, I will also be referencing Mark F. Smith's Origins of Biblical Monotheism. And I think I should probably reference that. You know what? When we get to the interesting part, I'll let you know when I'll reference it. But we still got commentary on it.
Well, before we get into the psalm itself, let me read a little bit from Eerdmans here. Psalm 74 is a communal lament in which God is entreated to save his people, the people with whom he has a long-standing covenant, from their desperate situation following the destruction of the temple by the Babylonians in 587 BC. It is a theological reflection on the destruction of the temple and the exile.
All right, let's see how this goes.
And it's sort of, because mine says an appeal against the devastation of the lands, a land by the enemy.
Yep.
And it says it's supposed to be a contemplative or skillful psalm, Asaph. So this is particularly supposed to be a skillful one. So let's see how skilled it is.
We will see, because we are the arbiters of skillful psalms.
Yes.
All right.
Clear.
So let's start this off. Psalm 74, a maskil of Asaph. And as we talked about before, we have no idea what a maskil is. Some sort of musical instrument.
Yes. One of the 12 that we've ran into throughout
so many
the readings.
And as I said, my Bible says it's possibly a contemplative or skillful psalm.
Right. Oh God, why do you cast us off forever?
So, Alter says a bit about this.
This is probably written in exile, honestly.
Yeah.
Because why do you cast us off forever?
Yeah, why have you abandoned us forever? It says, as in a number of other psalms, the seeming logical contradiction of using forever in a plea to reverse the abandonment has psychological conviction. The tribulations of the nation have gone on so long that they seem eternal to the speaker. This psalm is a national supplication evoking the painful memory of the destruction of the temple, the stress on the persistence of the catastrophe may suggest a date of composition many decades after 586 BC. Some determined commentators date the poem as late as the Hasmonean period, although the references to the profanation of the sanctuary could just as easily apply to its destruction by the Babylonians.
Well, we will read through it, and we'll see what we think.
Yes.
Okay. Why does your anger smoke against the sheep of your pasture? Remember your congregation, which you have purchased of old, which you have redeemed to be the tribe of your heritage. Remember Mount Zion, where you have dwelt. Direct your steps to the perpetual ruins.
The eternal ruins.
The eternal ruins. Okay.
Altars. It says, as with forever in the first verse of the psalm. It appears to be an anguished speaker.
English?
Yes, it does. It appears to be an anguished speaker.
Oh, I heard English. You know, that butchered version.
Yeah.
Though the ruins of the temple are to go on for eternity. So this is a reference to
Yeah.
the temple.
The enemy has destroyed everything in the sanctuary. Your foes have roared in the midst of your meeting place. They set up their own signs for signs.
So
What?
they set up their signs as signs. The translation preserves the ambiguity of the Hebrew.
So,
Oh, good.
so
Thanks.
mine has set up their own standards for signs. That is, they're talking about, standards as in banners for signs.
It says here, some interpreters imagine these to be foreign ensigns or standards that the conquerors plant on the ruins of the temple. Others see here a reference to pagan icons. But signs, otot, could also mean portents. They claim that their victory was ordained by portents they received. Compare the beginning of verse 9.
Well, when we
which
get
we'll
there.
get to.
Yeah. Yeah, they have set up their own signs for signs. Gosh, shut up, Chris.
I sneezed way away from the mic. I don't even know how you heard that.
Good mics. They set up their own signs for signs. They were like those who swing axes in a forest of trees.
Ooh.
So they destroy everything around them, I'm guessing.
The Hebrew is obscure. The Masoretic text it became known that they did this for this verse 5. But many textual critics prefer to read, it was hacked away. Brings down from above is also odd, though the evident image of a woodsman chopping down branches from a high tree. So, yeah, it's like a lumberjack thing.
Yeah.
But-
I think Jim is, kind of right on about this. They were fucking shit up. They were just destroying everything around them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all is carved. Yeah, and all its carved wood they broke down with hatchets and hammers. They set your sanctuary on fire. They profaned the dwelling place of your name, bringing it down to the ground. They said to themselves, "We will utterly subdue them." They burned all the meeting places of God in the land.
So when it says we will utterly subdue them, Alter says we shall destroy them. He says the verb ninam is anomalous, but it may derive from the root y, which suggests enmity. For the meeting places, it says the indication of sanctuaries throughout the land is surprising because otherwise the psalm appears to assume the centralization of worship in the single temple in Jerusalem affected after 621 BCE.
Anyways, we do not see our signs. There is no longer any prophet, and there is none among us who knows how long. How long, O God, is the foe to scoff? Is the enemy to revile your name forever? Why do you hold back your hand, your right hand? Take it from the fold of your garment and destroy them. So obviously pleading with God to destroy these guys because they have been around fucking their shit up for too long.
What verse are you on?
That was my verse 11.
Okay. Continue.
Okay. Yet God, my King, is from of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. You divided, and this is where we get interesting stuff after this. After this verse set, I'm gonna read Smith's notes on that. You divided the sea by your might. You broke the heads of the sea monsters on the waters. You crushed the heads of Leviathan. You gave him as food for the creatures of the wilderness. And if you remember...
Yeah, he did fish up Leviathan for the purpose of feeding him to people. Alter says, you shattered the sea god. He says, as evidence of God's beneficent power of old, the speaker... This is for his verse 13, so your verse 12. Says, you shattered the sea god with your strength. You smashed the monster's heads on waters. You crushed the Leviathan's heads. It says, as evidence of God's beneficent power of old, the speaker goes back to the time of creation, invoking imagery from the Canaanite cosmogonic myth, in which Baal subdues the chaotic force of the primordial sea monster, here referred to as Yam. Also,
Yam. That was the god of the sea in Canaanite.
Yam.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is also the ordinary Hebrew word for sea, and then as Tananim, monsters, then as Leviathan.
Yes. So that's some very interesting stuff there. I'm gonna finish off this verse set, and then I'll grab Smith's. On this.
But it also says you crushed the Leviathan's heads.
Yeah, you crushed the heads of Leviathan.
Right. It says, if the plural in our text is authentic, the poet would be alluding to a tradition in which Leviathan is a many-headed monster, not part of its description in Job. There is an a fortiori logic in this poetic use of the Canaanite myth. If God is powerful enough to have secured the order and created the world by conquering the hideous forces of aqueous chaos, he can surely confound the vile enemy who has laid waste to Zion.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
May as well be able to. Anyways, you crushed the heads of Leviathan. You gave him as food for the creatures of the wilderness. You split open springs and brooks. You dried up ever-flowing streams. Yours is the day, yours also the night. You have established the heavenly lights and the sun. You have fixed all the boundaries of the earth. You have made summer and winter. So I don't know if you have any notes on that stuff, but I'm going to find the right thing in here.
Well, you've made.
Well, I mean, obviously the axial tilt is something. I guess they're claiming that God did. So,
all right. So here's some stuff from Mark S. Smith's. So just as these cosmic entities are mentioned as and he's talking about Israelite cosmic entities. So just as these cosmic entities are mentioned as Baal's or Anat's old enemies, they are known in Israelite tradition as enemies of Yahweh, the warrior god. And then he cites the verse that we just read, the verses that we just read. Here, the cosmic enemy's defeat serves as prelude to creation. In contrast, Isaiah 27:1 presents Leviathan's defeat as a sign of the end times. And if you remember, that's also part of the end times tradition in First Enoch, because at the end, they are going to eat a Leviathan, right?
Yeah. You eat Leviathan.
Yeah. So
it's a thing you do.
Yeah,
delicious.
Isaiah 25:8 likewise proclaims. Yeah, definitely delicious. Isaiah 25:8 likewise proclaims a reversal of the power of the cosmic entity, or the cosmic enemy, death. The image of God there swallowing up death reverses the comparable image of death's demanding to swallow Baal in Ugaritic. So I'm going to look for another portion real quick. So if you guys want to add some commentary, that'd be cool.
Okay.
Commentary.
At verse 15 in Altars, I think that's 14 in yours.
You crushed the heads of Leviathan?
No, you
No,
split
verse
open.
15. It's the springs and torrents and
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you
That's
split open
different
a
in mine,
channel for
actually.
spring and brook.
Mine actually lines up with the Masoretic text here.
It says, you split open a channel for spring and brook. You dried up the surging torrents. Yours is the day, also yours is the night. Well, anyways, Alter says, now God's power as master of creation is represented in natural rather than mythological terms. He creates both the vital water sources and the dry places on earth. He establishes the rhythm of day and night, summer and winter, and sets the heavenly luminaries in their place. Verses 16 and 17. This whole sequence of lines, beginning in verse 13, uses an emphatic second-person singular pronoun, atah, at the head of almost every clause. The semantic effect is something like, it was you who... But because that formula would make most of the lines excessively long in English, it has been used in this translation only in 2 verses.
All right, so here's another part that I was looking for. Talking about dualistic mythology here. However, dualistic mythology, to use Mendenhall's expression, expresses not only political power, it clearly has the flexibility to express political or communal weakness, even desperation. Psalm 74 presents a recollection, of divine victory of the past at a time of human powerlessness. Psalm 74, 12 through 17 in particular, appeals to divine strength at a moment of perceived divine weakness or indifference. In this case, Yahweh's mastery is not fully realized for ancient Israelites. This divine dominion is in fact a debatable matter. And then he goes on to talk about other passages.
All right.
Yeah, so that was the note there. But let's hop right back into the reading here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So verse 18.
Yes. Remember this, O Lord, how the enemy scoffs, and a foolish people reviles your name. Do not deliver the soul of your dove to the wild beasts. And the dove being Israel, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Do not yield to the beast the life of your dove. This translation...
Mine says, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The translation assumes that the noun hayat, ordinarily beast of, is a poetic form of haya, beast, not in the construct state, that is not attached to the noun that follows it. The question about the text is compounded by the fact that in the second verse, hayat appears to be a homonym, meaning band or military contingent.
Thanks.
So mine says, thou, do not deliver the soul of thy turtle dove to the wild beasts.
Turtle dove.
Turtle dove.
Turtle dove.
Okay.
Do not deliver the soul of the turtle dove to the wild beasts. Do not forget the life of thine afflicted follower, or forever. Excuse me. Do not forget the life of thine afflicted forever.
Yeah, I have a do not forget the life of your poor forever. Have regard for the covenant, for the dark places of the land are full of the habitations of violence. Let not the downtrodden turn back in shame.
So that habitations of violence?
Yes, I'm guessing where they are living. It's a very violent time for them.
Well, Alters says for this one, look to the pact, for the dark places of earth fill with groans of outrage. It says the Masoretic text seems to say with habitations of outrage, which sounds odd coming after dark places of the earth. The Septuagint reads, instead of neot habitations, enkot, groans, and that reading is adopted here. So there's a difference between the Septuagint and Masoretic text here.
All right, where was I?
You were on verse 21.
Yes, I see that. Okay. Yeah, let not the downtrodden turn back in shame. Let the poor and needy praise your name. Arise, O God, defend your cause. Remember how the foolish scoff at you all the day. Do not forget the clamor of your foes, the uproar of those who rise against you, which go up continually.
And at the end there, we return to the theme of permanency that was brought up earlier in the psalm as a kind of bookend.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense.
Yes. So if you are enjoying the stream so far, big fans of old Hebrew poetry, give us a like, subscribe,
Share all that good
share
stuff.
it with all
Yeah.
your friends.
All right.
Your
But
neighbors, your landlords, your
Yeah.
hey, do you guys hear something?
Huh. What?
I do hear something.
Something kind of
Something's
funny is
coming.
sounding.
I hear something weird. It's coming.
Behold, I am your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and I want to let all you heathens and sinners know that I support this wonderful episode of Atheist Sunday School. Lawrence and Reuben try their very best to bring you the true glory of the Bible, and they need your help. They have provided links to their Patreon page and other social media just for you. Once again, my name is Jesus Christ, and this is Milwaukee Atheists. The Lord is with them. God bless.
Wow. Jesus.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Well, thanks, Jesus, for stopping by. Thanks for telling us your thoughts. And we're going to continue praising your name. So, yep, we're going to hop right into Psalm 75, and I believe that's going over to Landon.
Yes. Now, I apologize because there's some beeping in the background, but that's just God backing up.
Nice.
So Psalm 75, my New American Standard says, God abases the proud but exalts the righteous. For the choir director set to Al Tesheth, which I guess translates to do not destroy, a psalm of Asaph, a song.
Yeah, so the whole do not destroy thing, that's come up in a few other psalms now where they're not really sure about how it's supposed to be translated because it doesn't make much sense.
Yes. Anyway, so let's start. So we give thanks to thee, O God. We give thanks. For thy name is near. Men declare thy wondrous works.
So
When I
like straight off the outset, it is definitely a Thanksgiving psalm.
Yeah.
Yep.
When I select an appointed time, it is I who judge with equity. The earth and all who dwell in it melt, for it is I who have firmly set its pillars.
Do you have a Salah?
And then there's I was pausing for the Salah.
Salah. So your verse 2, what was that again?
When I select an appointed time, is I who judge with equity.
It says in the King James Version, when I shall receive the congregation, I will judge uprightly.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty different. So Alter has, when I seize the appointed time, I myself shall judge rightly. Mm-hmm. So when the time comes, just like in most apocalyptic stuff, he's going to be there to judge. But yeah, it's interesting that yours says congregation.
Yeah, because like receiving the congregation, I mean, it's kind of apocalyptic, right?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I think we're on verse 2
it's
or 3.
interesting that even though this Bible has 5 verses with this paragraph, there's Salah in the middle of the paragraph. Usually Salah is in the paragraph.
Yeah, the placing of salahs is always kind of off to me, but I guess that would make sense with what Alter said about it being like just something to fill a beat.
Okay. Salah. It is I said to the boastful, do not boast. And to the wicked, do not lift up the horn. Do not lift up your arm on high. Do not speak with insolent pride.
Ooh, the King James says, speak not with a stiff neck.
Ah, stiff neck. It makes a return. The grand
Yes.
return of the stiff necked.
So yes. Anyway, so verse 6. For not from the east, nor from the west, nor from the desert comes exaltation, but God is the judge. He puts down one and exalts the other.
So it doesn't matter where you live, I guess.
Yeah. For a cup in his hand of the Lord, and the cup is in the hand of the Lord, and the wine foams.
You know, actually, I have a note on the whole desert stuff.
I have a difference for the wine.
Please.
Mine says the wine is red.
Okay, I'll do the desert note, and then you do the stuff about the wine.
And I have a comment about wine.
Great. Okay, so not from the desert is one lifted up. The last two Hebrew words are mimidbar harim. In the Masoretic vocalization, the last syllable of mimidbar shows a pata as the vowel. I guess that makes sense to Hebrew speakers, which would join it to harim as the construct state, yielding from the desert of mountains. Many manuscripts, however, vocalize this syllable with a kamatz, which would introduce a pause after mimidbar, and thus make harim a verb in the infinitive, to lift up. This small change gives the sentence an otherwise absent predicate and accords with this poet's fondness for pointed repetition of terms.
Yes.
Anyways, what was your note on the cup?
The wine is red
Yes.
in King James, whereas it
Let
foams.
me read the actual the full verse,
Okay.
because we only got halfway through the verse on there.
Okay.
It says, "For a cup is in the hand of the Lord, and the wine foams. It is well mixed and pours out of this. Surely the wicked of the earth must drain and drink down its dregs."
Yeah, this is pretty similar. It says, "For in the hand of the Lord there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poureth out of the same, but the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them." So,
I mean, it's. I guess it's. I'm not sure where the foamy stuff comes from, but I guess they're referring to a red wine that has a lot of sedimentation to it, and the top, and may also even be slightly effervescent. But in old wines in particular, you want to use a strainer to go and cut out the dregs, so the dregs don't go into your cup. But apparently they don't have those strainers there. Oftentimes in old days, they would take a wine bottle. The way that wine or a flask would be poured is they would do the pouring, and they would never have the bottom lift up above the neck, right? And so that the dregs would stay there, and they wouldn't go and shake it around. They would let stuff settle and then pour it to the spot and then leave a little bit behind. Those dregs are considered not very very tasty, and so you leave them behind there. But in modern day stuff, you have a strainer, you pour the wine through, because those dregs are also have been, fermenting the wine and getting it to its proper flavor, assuming that it hasn't gone aged too much.
I'm glad we have Landon here for this.
Yeah. I don't know anything about wine.
Me neither.
All I do is buy bottles and drink them.
You know what I buy? I buy a little bit of the bubbly.
Anyway,
You know what I buy?
What's
I
that?
buy Milwaukee Atheist merch on Teespring.
Amazing. Incredible.
Landon just got up and left.
Yeah, so I do
He's
have
grabbing something.
I do have a little bit of stuff on the
yeah.
dregs though, at least. Oh,
Because usually in modern day stuff, you have like an aerator here. That's going to give you your foamy bits, as they're talking about the wine foams. And you use a little strainer there that goes in a spot. So you pour the wine through it. And so you can get down to the last drop and get all of the wine that has been, mixing inside the dregs. And it's much better. So, but here, I guess the psalmist is saying that the good part of the wine is for the Lord, and the wicked have to essentially get the tiny bit left over, the little spot at the bottom of the bottle that's not very good. But we have modern ways of taking care of this. So there. Anyway.
so here's a little note on this. And, kind of bounces off what we were talking about before. So the Hebrew word, which is rendered lift up or exalt, occurs 5 times in this psalm. The striking incidence of this word underlines the theme of human self-aggrandizement and humiliation by God, which plays a central role in the psalm. People who try to exalt themselves or each other should realize that it is only God who can do this. Self-exaltation leads to humiliation by God. A familiar metaphor is used to describe judgment on self-exaltation, namely that of the cup of wine poured out by God, which the wicked shall drink down to the dregs. So that was the note there.
Yeah, and I think as has been mentioned in commentary, I think it was Jim Majors, that the here the wine is a metaphor for God's wrath. But some of those that like wine, it's like good stuff. And it's just don't drink the dregs. It's like don't drink the bong water.
Would.
You.
Who would? Well, why don't you?
There's a time and place for everything, and it's called college. Believe me, that's happening in college. So we're getting far afield. Let's return back to Psalm 75, verse 9, if you please.
Yes.
But as for me, I declare it forever. I will sing the praises of the God of Jacob, and all the horns of the wicked he will cut off, but the horns of the righteous will be lifted up.
Yes, so one group is going to lose their strength, and the other one, the Jews, are going to get some strength.
Yeah, I guess.
My goodness, I didn't know that God was a debuff mage.
The whole thing does kind of have a apocalyptic vibe to it.
Yeah, it definitely does.
It's very much.
But although it's not technically apocalyptic, because apocalyptic requires some revelation.
Right.
Like there's no revealing of anything. So when this is
it has a similar vibe to the apocalypses.
It's
that we've.
The word that we should use to better describe it is eschatological.
Okay, it's eschatological.
Yeah, what does that mean?
That's end time stuff.
Right.
Study of the end times.
Eschatological? Did I get it right?
Sure.
Sure, why not?
Eschatological.
There you go.
I think I got it right either way.
Eschatological.
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 Eschatological. See, it's hard to say. Yeah, it's not just me.
All right, let's stop saying this word before it loses all meaning.
Okay.
End of things.
Psalm 76.
Yes,
hey,
make
if you're
sure to
enjoying the stream so far, make sure to like
and
do
subscribe
the other things
and
that Lawrence
share
wants
and
you to do.
Yeah.
So what is the commentary ahead of Psalm 76? Mine says, "Victorious power of the God of Jacob."
Are you?
I don't have a title. I have a subscript to the chief musician on Neganoth. a psalm or song of Asaph.
Mine says, for the choir director on stringed instruments, a song of Aphid. A song.
All right. Anything to say before we?
No.
All right.
So are these texts that we see? Is this something that's part of the text, or is this commentary that's been added much later?
Oh, it's been added. Yeah, those superscripts, they're definitely added later.
Yep. In Judah is God known. His name is great in Israel.
So it's kind of interesting, the contrast between those.
Right. They name both
Judah
of the
and
kingdoms.
Israel. Yeah. So on verse 2 here, God becomes known in Judah. This psalm is a celebration of God's power in history. Perhaps it was composed to mark a particular victory over enemies who assailed Jerusalem. But the text does not provide sufficient evidence for any specific historical identification. As in the Exodus story and elsewhere, God, quote, becomes known by exerting his triumphant power. So it's interesting that, they're talking about Judah here, but also Israel later. And there's no commentary in here on Israel, but his name is great in Israel, and he becomes known in Judah.
Right.
So I'm guessing...
Like, people in Judah know about him, but in Israel...
Well, the thing is, he must have exerted some power in Judah. So, I'm guessing that was... there's some sort of warlike situation here.
In Salem also is his tabernacle and his dwelling place in Zion.
So
Salem.
on Salem, yes, this is a variant, perhaps archaic, form of the name Jerusalem, something made clear by the parallelism with Zion in the second verse set.
Poor witches.
Yeah, poor witches.
There break he the arrows of the bow, the shield, and the sword, and the battle. Selah. Thou art more glorious and excellent than the mountains of prey. That high praise here.
Yeah.
The stout-hearted are spoiled. They have slept their sleep, and none of the men of might have found their hands. Is this a reference to the mighty men?
Mighty men of valor. I don't know.
It's a psalm of Asaph.
Could
be.
I don't know.
Yep. Oof. At thy rebuke, O God of Jacob, both the chariot and the horse are cast into a dead sleep. Thou, even thou, art to be feared, and who may stand in thy sight when once thou art angry? When once thou art angry. Thou didst cause judgment to be heard from heaven. The earth feared and was still. When God arose to judgment to save all the meek of the earth. Selah. Surely the wrath of man shall praise thee. The remainder of wrath shall thou restrain. Vow and pay unto the Lord your God. Let all that be round about him bring presents unto him, that he ought to be feared. He shall cut off the spirit of princes. He is terrible to the kings of the earth. So,
It's going to destroy some stuff.
Yes.
It's going to be a good old judgment time.
he's like, hey, you guys are celebrating me, right?
Yeah.
You better bring
yeah.
me. You better bring me presents too.
Yes. Oh, Lord.
I'm going to get ticked off and pour my dregs of wine on you. Oh, let's bring the psalm. Sorry.
So was that the end of it?
Yeah,
then?
that's the end of Psalm 76. If you're enjoying the stream so far, give us a like, subscribe, do all the things.
Yeah, all that nice stuff. So, that was Psalm 76, right?
Yeah, that
Okay.
was Psalm
I'm just making
76.
sure. So the metaphor of God as a warrior is used to underline his praiseworthiness and power. God inflicts a crushing defeat on enemies. For example, he broke the flashing arrows.
Yes.
Yes. But this psalm is virtually impossible to link to a particular historical situation.
Right.
Which, kind of see that. That's a real bummer.
But it's interesting that Salem is used.
Yeah.
In verse 2.
For Jerusalem, apparently.
Which, that could give some context clues to around what time, maybe, or at least.
That would be a difference. Yeah, because the thing is, you still wouldn't know which thing it's referring to. And that makes it even more difficult to date.
Yes.
Yeah. Either way, that was the end of Psalm 76, and we have one more psalm to read.
Psalm 77.
Wow, who could have guessed? Comfort in the trouble from recalling God's mighty deeds.
Yeah, my title for this one is "In the Days of Trouble I Seek the Lord."
It's an individual lament.
Oh, right. So
You're
it's
good at calling
not in here.
these. Oh, is it a Thanksgiving one? Ooh, which
No,
one will it be?
the-
No, I'm kidding. He calls them real early.
Well, yeah, it's right there.
The choir director, according to Jotham, a psalm of Asaph.
All right. To the
Jed-
choir master.
Jeduthun.
Yeah, so to the choir master, according to Jeduthun, a psalm of Asaph. I cry aloud to God, and he will hear me. In the day of my trouble, I seek the Lord.
So the psalm begins with the formulaic language of an individual supplication, though in the second half of the poem, beginning in verse 12, when the speaker recalls God's wonders of old, he reverts to national memory.
As is tradition.
Yes. Is it? Not really.
Well,
I mean, that's just Lawrence's
I know.
catchphrase.
I love that catchphrase.
in the night, my hand is stretched out without wearying. My soul refuses to be comforted. When I remember God, I moan. When I meditate, is it meditate? Yeah, meditate.
Wow.
My spirit faints. You hold my
Did
eyelid.
you have a Salah?
I have a
Yes, I did have a Salah, actually. Salah.
Okay, so
Salah.
I don't have meditate here. It says, my eye flows at night, it will not stop. The Masoretic text reads, incomprehensibly, my hand flows. The emendation adopted here from hand to eye is based not only on the verb, but also on a similar formulation in Lamentations 3:49. My eye streams out is not still without respite. For verse 4 here, it says, I call God to mind, and I moan. I speak, and my spirit faints. It says here, this verb, I call God to mind, ZKR, is used 4 times in the poem. First, the speaker recalls his recent nocturnal experiences. Then, the great story of the national past, evidence of God's beneficence. So,
Anyways, you hold my eyelids open. I am so troubled that I cannot speak.
so he can't sleep, he can't speak.
Yeah.
Wow.
I consider the days of old, the years long ago. I said, let me remember my song in the night. Let me meditate in my heart. Then my spirit made a diligent search. Will the Lord spurn forever and never again be favorable?
So it says here, will the master forever abandon me?
We got a 666 from Ellis.
Wow, thank you, Ellis.
Thank you, Ellis.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, we should probably encourage people to donate.
We have a donation drive. Once we reach $666, we will be doing alchemy. We'll be transmuting one thing into another thing if we can.
We'll give it a shot, just like we gave the demon summoning a shot.
Yep.
Which, by the way, has the trees bent anymore? Or?
No.
They look fine.
Well, it's snowing today, so I guess some of the trees,
They're a little more bent.
Yeah, a little more bent.
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking. So anyway, so where are we approximately on the Alchemy Drive?
Well, now we're at about 476. Yeah, yeah.
So to get us to that 666, thank you again, Ella Paul, for your
Yes, definitely. Thank you
donation.
so much, Alice.
Yeah.
And we're doing the Patreon hangout after the show. Send him a link. Send other patrons links.
Mm.
Yes.
Well,
After the show.
here it
Yes.
says, will the master forever abandon me and never again look with favor? And it says for abandon me, the object of the verb is merely implied in the Hebrew.
Merely implied. All right.
Seems pretty obvious.
Yeah. So he wants to, he's kind of butthurt, kind of sad that stuff isn't going well, and he's just wondering when God's gonna help him out. Has his steadfast love forever ceased? Are his promises at an end for all time? Has God forgotten to be gracious? Has he in anger shut up his compassion? Selah.
Salah. I don't have a Salah.
Really?
Selah.
Neat. Then I said, I will appeal to this. Oh, we got a 499.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
John Y. Spinoza.
So,
Johnny Spinoza. I don't know.
yes.
Johnny Spinoza. Thank you, Spinoza. Thank
Yes.
you for your $4.99.
So you're
Glad you're enjoying the newer equipment.
Yeah.
It's not new now, but
Well, it's still
it's
new-
still very new
Ish.
compared
It's
to the
good.
show.
Yeah.
New-ish.
Compared to the show's age.
Here it says, and I said, it is my failing, not what yours had. He says,
See, I didn't even finish that though.
yeah, okay, go into it.
Then I said, I will appeal to this, to the years of the right hand of the Most High.
Yeah, and I said, it is my failing that the High One's right hand has changed.
Okay, so it's his fault in that one.
Alter says, there is an evident problem in the Hebrew text here, which is obscure.
Oh yeah, actually, this notes it
yeah.
as well. This is my grief that the right hand of, the Most High has changed.
That's actually because mine says, it is my grief that the right hand of the Most High has changed. In quotes is what American Standard
Yeah.
says.
Yeah, so the guy did a 180, right?
Both the grammar and the meaning of the verbal noun, if it is that haloti, it is my failing, are ambiguous, and while right hand is the idiomatic token of efficacious power, it is far from certain that shinot means has changed. It could also mean repeated, or could be a noun, years of, neither of which possibilities is helpful. So,
Well, I guess maybe that helps us. I'm not sure. Anyways, I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes. What?
it's Yah.
Okay, well, mine says Lord.
Okay.
So go fuck yourself.
Mine says the Lord.
Yeah. But it says which is good. That's good that we know that.
Yeah.
Yes, I will remember your wonders of old. I will ponder all your work and meditate on your mighty deeds. Your way, O God, is holy. What God is great like our God? You are the God.
So there's another pantheism
Sure.
thing.
Yeah, there's
Well, yeah, this one's definitely like, the kind of arguments that they went over before, like who is as great, which God is as great as you? I forget.
I don't know. Is
I forget-
Superman as good as that other guy in the other series?
I forget where that was, but I remember that coming up. I think it was part of Deuteronomy, right?
so there's
Somewhere in the Torah.
Oh, Thanos or Doomsday? That's the question.
there's actually a difference in the Hebrew here too. It says God, your way is in holiness, who is a great God like God. Alter says in the first instance, God is El. In the second instance, God is Elohim. In the next verse, El is again the term used. So
That's
it switches
interesting.
El, Elohim, El.
That's really interesting. You are the God who works wonders. You have made known your might among the peoples. You, with your arm, redeemed your people, the children of Jacob and Joseph. Selah. When the waters
Salah.
When the waters saw you, O God, when the waters saw you, they were afraid. Indeed, the deep trembled.
Because this sequence of lines concludes with Moses and Aaron leading the people, the waters in question would be the waters of the Sea of Reeds, first pushed back miraculously to allow the Israelites to cross over, then surging forward to drown the Egyptian army. But the imagery has such a strong cosmic character that the mythological image of God triumphing over the primordial powers of the sea is superimposed on the image of the Exodus story.
Yeah, this is really weird because let's keep reading this here.
Yes.
The clouds poured out water, the skies gave forth thunder, your arrows flashed on every side. The crash of your thunder was in the whirlwind. Your lightnings lighted up the world. The earth trembled and shook. Your way was through the sea, your path through the great waters, yet your footprints were unseen. You led your people like a flock by the hand of Moses and Aaron.
So,
A lot of imagery there.
back up here a little bit.
Sure.
Alter says, so they're talking about the clouds, skies, the bolts. And then it says, your thunders sound under the wheel. Lightning lit up the world. The earth shuddered and shook. Alter says, here the poet uses both kol, sound, and ra'am, thunder. Many interpreters take this as a metaphoric comparison between the sound of thunder and the clattering of wheels. But because the sky god in Canaanite mythology sometimes rides a celestial chariot, this could plausibly be a mythic image of God riding across the skies in his fearsome chariot, which rumbles with thunder as it goes.
Which verse did you have that had wheels?
19. Your thunders sound under the wheel.
Huh. Yeah, I didn't have that at all.
Yeah, that was different.
Yeah.
And obviously the
Landon, you're muted.
reference to Moses and
You see,
Aaron.
Yeah.
Are you referring to verse 19?
Yeah, verse
'Cause
19.
mine says, thy way was in the sea, thy paths in the mighty waters, thy footprints may not be known.
You're verse 18, I guess.
Yeah, because
Oh,
it's the altar has the Masoretic text, which has the versing set up differently.
Oh, okay. So the sound of thy thunder was in a whirlwind. The lightnings lit up the world. The earth trembled and shook.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I pretty much.
So instead of wheel, you have whirlwind.
Yes.
Oh, that's different. He doesn't really say.
Apparently
why he-
Jim is saying it can also mean, what is that? Does it say hail or haul?
That's hail.
Hail, okay.
And he also says whirlwind is equivalent to wheel for this.
Oh, all right then.
If you believe that, I
I have no
idea.
idea. So
Well, it spins around a whirlwind, so
Ooh.
I don't know if that, is equivalent in this metaphor. So we'll see.
I have no idea. I wish
But-
there was more commentary that we had on that.
but
We don't.
we don't.
We'd have to look that up or something.
Yeah.
But anyways, that is the end of Psalm 77, and that is the end of the readings for today.
If you enjoyed today's stream,
Yeah.
give us a like.
Yes, give us a like.
Subscribe.
Yes, subscribe and share the video.
Become a patron.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can get a whole bunch of rewards. They're all detailed on our
Yes,
Patreon.
you can get books. You can get shirts. You
can get on this show.
You could get on the show. You can get into our hangouts.
And of course, thanks to all of you who are doing so already.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
Also, check out our Teespring and our Amazon wish list if you want to get us books for us to read and become more educated. I mean, that's always nice.
Yes, it is true, Jim.
Nice to see you, Jim.
You are commentating.
Yes.
That is
Yeah,
true.
And by the way, I did appreciate because someone gave me I was kind of to give me a feed since I'm banned by Susan. So I appreciated your commentary. But as I say, if you become a patron at a certain level, you can join the hangout. where I will talk about this T-shirt. See this T-shirt, Pitcairn Island, and you'll hear why I'm having this T-shirt and what it means.
It's crazy.
It's a conspiracy.
We'll talk about that later. But also other stuff.
Yes.
Feel free to go to our Teespring to get some shirts.
And feel free to email us at milwaukeeatheist@gmail.com if you want to.
Okay, amazing. What else we got coming up here?
We have a
yeah,
bid
you
shoot.
We do have a bid shoot. Link is in the description. Oh,
Huh?
of course. Our wish list.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I brought it up.
did you?
You weren't
But
there?
but not the question you asked beforehand, before the show started
Yeah.
about the book.
Oh yeah. The we got Hitler's
Oh, yeah.
Holy Relics. Does anybody know who sent us Hitler's Holy Relics?
Yeah,
if-
maybe in watching this later, once it's
Yeah, we don't
recorded,
know. We don't know who
Please
sent
comment.
that. Yeah,
We want to say thank you. To
we
you.
do want to say thank you.
Yeah, we don't know who
Thank you.
did it. Also, not the Holy Relics themselves.
Right. No, the
But-
book
but
Hitler's
the
Holy
book,
Relics.
Hitler's Holy Relics. Yeah.
Yes,
Man, that'd be
It's-
cool.
It's there, and as I say, and besides, you can get good T-shirts as sort of says. You get a Behold T-shirt. In fact, there's 2 styles of Behold T-shirts. I
Yes,
think.
there are.
Oh
Yep.
yes.
A white one and a black one. Amazing.
Wonderful. And I mean, you might be able to get your Valentine's Day
T-shirts
Rod
in
of
time.
God T-shirt. in
Maybe.
time. Maybe.
Maybe. You could hold on to it for a year. I'm
Yeah.
not
That would work
you.
too.
I don't know what you do.
Yeah. Once you're finally in a relationship next year, that's when that's when you give it to that special someone.
Wow. With all
anyways,
that being
oh,
said-
also Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah,
We're on there.
Facebook,
That's
Twitter.
free to follow us there.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, that was all the shilling that we need. And Landon, thanks for coming on. We're gonna have patron hangout afterwards. So if you're a patron in that tier,
Come hang out.
I'm gonna send you a link. Anyways, that's the show for today. And until we get a new sign-ish thing,
We will
new
see
animation.
you
We'll
on
see you
Friday
on-
/Sunday.
see you on Friday/Sunday.